We got some brand new 2026 Alliance Avenue models that have rolled in here, so we'll be able to see some of the changes that we are seeing on the 2026 Alliance Avenue. And I believe this is probably the best short fifth wheel RV floor plan layout out there in existence right now. So let's go take a look. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Miles with Firmly Unbound, and we are here taking a look at this 2026 Alliance Avenue 23ML. And this is going to be one of Alliance's shortest fifth wheel RVs that's only at about 28 feet long. You'll be able to see the floor plan layout and the specs on the screen. And over here, I'll look at the sticker here for the exact gross vehicle weight rating, 10,495 pounds. Has a 2,157 pound cargo carrying capacity, and unloaded is about 8,278 pounds right there. Actually, that's to be exact. So on this, I would still recommend a 3/4 ton truck to tow something this size because of the payload capacity and how that's correlated to the hitch weight on this fifth wheel RV with your truck's payload capacity. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we get inside, but I want to show you real quick the first changes that I see right away that took me kind of a second to find, but then once I noticed them, it was pretty noticeable. So you can see this is a 2026 here as well. This is a 2026 here, and you can see the graphics along the sides. Those have definitely changed to some degree from what the graphics are in the 2025 model. So 2026 right here, 2025 right here, in case I don't know if I accidentally called this a 2025. Very similar design concept, just less lines overall. The next thing is all these different areas that are black, so like your awning arms, the boxing around your storage areas, things like that, even like the trim along the sides here was all black on the 2025 models, and they have gone to white on those here on the 2026 model. Another thing here along the side, you see this skirting here kind of has this diamond guard texture to it. They went to more of a shiny coat of basically matching the paint on the skirting here instead of doing that diamond skirting along the sides. And then along the front, looks almost the exact same, although I did notice like the light right here is black on the 2025. They changed the light to a white color here. And then the Avenue text as well as the logo in general is just a darker shade of gray. Switches out here are all white where they were black here in the year prior. And then that is pretty much it on the outside. It's a lot of just cosmetic things to kind of clean up the look of this Avenue. We also have a LED light bar underneath the awning here that is now like a glowing kind of light bar versus one where you can see each of the individual lights along there. So pretty nice. And then just all the white colors kind of cleaned up the look on the exterior of this Avenue. So same thing you can see here, the white along all the storage areas. You have your storage space down through here, LED light strip there. It looks like the adhesive needs to be re-adhered on the other side. We'll go ahead and stick that back on when we go over to that side. But you have that LED light strip there with the motion activated sensor, aluminum framing, wrapped flooring down underneath here, and welds on both sides of all of your frame connections. All those look really good. You have your awning switch right here, so an external switch for the awning. That really makes your life very easy and convenient, having that right there whenever you need it, and they are slam latch doors out here. Have an outdoor kitchen space here with a griddle cooktop and a grill cooktop plus a mini fridge, but we'll get back to that in just a little bit. As we step inside, one thing I certainly wish they would have added that they did not is the shade here in the window already installed. So it's not coming with that. That's something you'd have to purchase additionally on this RV if that's something that you want. Have the 3-step solid step going into this fifth wheel RV. And as we step inside, this is such a great floor plan layout because it offers a lot of space throughout here. So good floor space all in this area. With your slides closed, you can get to the refrigerator and freezer, and you have quick, easy access up into the bedroom and bathroom. So really nice floor plan layout with that. Queen size bed here in this area, and it has a 50-inch screen TV. We can see here the hitch weight is 1,200 pounds on this fifth wheel RV, 48-gallon freshwater tank, 106-gallon gray water, and 53-gallon black waters. Now, some of that is going to be because it does have washer dryer prep in the closet in the bedroom. They went to the Furrion air conditioners in here, and I still have to get a good rundown on the difference between these Furrion ACs with the Coleman Mach ACs. I do know this is incredibly quiet. My assumption is, without seeing any specs on it, it looks like it's a 15,000 BTU AC. It has a turbo mode on it, and it also, when I turned on, sounded like it had a soft start on it. It did not just fire up real aggressively. It did kind of have like a slow, gradual turn on. So I think it has a soft start on these air conditioners as well, but I have just not got the full rundown on these Furrion Chill Cube ACs. Because I know they have the 18,000 BTU ones as well, but every time I've seen those, they have that articulating opening right here in this space that this one does not have, so I'm not sure exactly what the differences are between those just quite yet. Hopefully when I get out to Indiana here within the next month, I will get a lot of answers on these things here for you guys. Dining table right here, so legless dining table. This can drop down and make into a bed, so basically this just kind of lifts out, swivels down, and drops into these posts right here. Allows you to take these back cushions and drop it down into a bed. They are using like the pleather style material here on the dining table that we're pretty used to. And then you got your storage space down underneath here, although because of the shoe cubby, you can see it's kind of restricted there a little bit. So you can see right back underneath here, we had that shoe cubby right when we walked in, right there. Coming back along this side, you'll have storage underneath this area as well. This one should be completely open down underneath here. Yep, completely open under there. And then it is aluminum structures underneath the booth dining area, which is nice as well, not wood under there, as far as like the frame for those booth seating arrangements. Window looking out into your campsite, you have the 50-inch screen TV, definitely feels plenty large for this size space. You have a bigger vent fan here in the kitchen area, and then we have solid surface countertops here in the kitchen. Nice wraparound countertop space, window to look out the back wall of the camper, and basically, you know, not giving you any storage along this side, so they could really maximize that window coverage that you get there. Very similar design now to the Alliance Delta 2026 model. When I went into the Delta 2026 model for the first time, it looks like they kind of went with the same design elements that we see here in a lot of ways with the color scheme. So I don't know for sure if this is like the final design that they'll have for 2026 for the Alliance Avenue, because I haven't talked to the people down at Alliance quite yet. But this is something where the interior looks match what we saw in 2025 so far. Does have individual shut-off valves for your water lines. You can see how big your storage areas are up through here. And then one key element with Alliance that you need to know about is that when you come to the drawers, they have the solid wood construction staples here, and then down underneath, they're one of the only brands doing this additional support down underneath here in all of the drawers, which definitely allows you to load more weight in there and prevents any sag from occurring in there when you load up a decent amount of weight into those drawers. Heat vents running underneath the cabinetry, and then you have pull down blackout shades on your windows through here, as you can see there, and they're a gray color that matches the interior. A little bit of storage here next to the TV. JBL sound system, and then as we come along this way, you have your residential size microwave, 3-burner gas stove, and a pretty standard RV size oven. It's a little bigger than like your travel trailer ovens, but nothing too crazy. And then a bigger pots and pans drawer underneath the stove. Has a French door style refrigerator and then a bottom freezer drawer. So good amount of space all through here. You can see your shelving on the sides of the doors. And then this will be a 12-volt refrigerator. Freezer portion has this little drawer on top with the big opening down there. And then you have kind of like a love seat style sofa here with the flip down armrest, USB ports and outlet here in the armrest with your cup holders, and then you can flip that up and you'll be able to cuddle in this area, lay out in this area, have a dog, lay on your lap, things like that, and then get the armrest when you want it. Pull straps to release the recline function on here, and then you can see how that will lay down like so. The non-camp side definitely gets the really large windows here in this area. You also have USB ports and outlets right here. As we come along this way, open up the pantry. It does have a motion activated light. You have power here in the pantry as well. And then all of these shelves are adjustable. Got your coffee bar area right here, nice lighting up in this space. You have your outlet up underneath here, your Furrion controls for the air conditioner. You have this little accessory storage space there with that backlit little design in that area. Your shelving, has soft close cabinet doors, magnet latches to hold those cabinet doors closed, and then this is kind of like a frosted plexiglass cabinet door. You can see they have glazed birch for the drawer construction in here. See all that storage that you have in there, and then some shelving under here and spot for your breakers. So great amount of storage all in all in this entire area. It's certainly, looking at this, I mean, this is something I think in the size range that we're looking at for fifth wheel RV, for just like me and my wife Megan, we could easily live out of here, because we lived out of our travel trailer for 2 months, the past 2 months basically on our honeymoon, as I traveled around filming RVs for you guys across the country, and we had much less storage than what is in here, and we definitely made it work with some storage to spare. So I think there's quite a bit in here to work with that I really like. Right when you walked in, you have your controls for this fifth wheel RV. Couple things to note on this real quick. You do have 12 volt heat pads on the water tank, so that's an electric heat source for your water tanks there. You have a individual power control for the camera, so if you put a rear camera on this fifth wheel RV, basically what that means is, in some other brands, that power is tied into the power from the truck, meaning the truck has to be plugged into the trailer for the backup camera to power on. This here is not the case, because this camera has its own power source, meaning you can use that camera as a security camera as well at any time for your fifth wheel RV, not just when you are hooked up to the truck. As we go up the steps here, you can see what those look like. You have a heat vent running out of there and another spot for some shoes. Grab handle here, and this is a 101-inch wide body construction on a mid-size fifth wheel RV, so you feel that space walking up through the hallway. Nice looking bathroom, pretty standard bathroom though nonetheless. See your vent fan you have up in this area, some hooks behind the toilet, and then this is a porcelain toilet with a plastic soft close toilet seat. Ceiling height in here is pretty dang good though, so as I get behind the camera, you'll be able to see how I kind of fit in the shower first. Standing in here, it's probably about 6'3" to the ceiling height, and then you have another like 2 or 3 inches here in the skylight, so easily can be about 6'5" at least and fit in the shower, and I almost fit under the shower head. I do have to duck just a little bit. It has this plastic-like shower curtain, and then as we turn the camera around, we have a Suburban tankless water heater, liquefied here, which is a black tank treatment for your RV that you can find at Blue Compass stores all across the country in their parts department, as well as Amazon and Walmart. They have it in the pods formula, like you see here, liquid and powder formulas, so you can get that for your RV to keep your black tank fresh. Got some storage right here. Really deep spaces there, but it doesn't go all the way back. Looks like it makes some room for some water lines behind this area possibly, and then this goes all the way to the sidewall as well as that. Got your 2 drawers and area here underneath the sink, getting all those water lines kind of out of the way so you have really usable storage through there. And then you have a pocket style door that sits between the walls, so that's nice too. The door doesn't get in your way at all from using the toilet and condensing that space down, since it sits between the walls there. A residential queen size bed here in the bedroom. Ceiling does start to slant down a little bit. We have another Furrion air conditioner here in the bedroom, so be able to sleep with this door closed and stay nice and cool with no issues. Good storage up through there. Ceiling height does come down, as you can see. As I'm walking this way, my head starts to hit right about here. So if you look across, you can see how it starts to slant down once we get towards the bed there, which is a pretty common characteristic of these shorter mid-sized fifth wheel RVs. Big hidden storage down underneath there, pretty well hidden too. If you take that sticker off, it definitely doesn't have any giveaways whatsoever that is some storage there, especially with this drawer. This drawer makes it seem like this wouldn't naturally open up this way. So I think that's like actually good hidden storage that once you take that sticker off will be hidden pretty well. Outlets there, USB ports, and then your storage up across through here. Coming to this area does have washer and dryer connections. So I think like if it was just Megan and I and we wanted to upgrade to a fifth wheel and we were, you know, kind of thinking like, how do we want to travel more in an RV and we maybe want a little bit more space, if I was willing to upgrade my truck, I mean, with having the washer and dryer connections here and this floor plan layout, this is one that I really like a lot. Of course, curious your thoughts on what you think, so let me know down below in the comments. See how your drawers will open up there. Same birchwood on these drawers, but if you wanted to remove all this and have a washer and dryer installed, that is a possibility. Mattress doesn't feel very great. It is coming with some different style bedding than what it came with last year. Not that I anticipate anybody's going to use this. It's basically just like a fitted sheet. But your mattress here is pretty dang basic. Most people are going to find a need to want to upgrade that. Strut assisted bed gets you down underneath to that storage, and then that is pretty much it on the inside of this fifth wheel RV. So curious your thoughts and what you think about this floor plan layout. Like I said, I do think this, for something under 30 feet, I mean, this is about as good as I've ever seen to kind of offer everything that you could ask for in a couple's fifth wheel RV. Obviously it doesn't have bunk beds or anything like that, but I really, really like it. So curious your thoughts and what you think, and then let me go outside and we'll show you a couple things on the outside before we get on our way. And then we'll also go over the price too before we wrap up this video. As we head outside, you have Goodyear Endurance tires, and it does have the MORryde CRE 3000 suspension system on here. Doesn't look like it has any ABS, and then it has the upgraded performance gear. So you can see right here, it has this additional steel tube right there. And that, along with the MORryde CRE 3000 suspension system, just gets it a lot of support, so that when you're turning and different things like that and those axles are under stress, that nothing's gonna kind of break free underneath that area. A lot of brands out there that don't add that like additional steel piece and that added support to their axle and suspension system. Really, really big cooktop here. You can see with my hand on it how big that size is, and then you have your mini fridge behind here, and this will just slide back into that space there. And it does look like this actually will pull out even further. I don't believe I have this all the way out, but it is a two-hand operation. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I can't break it free without using two hands, but this does look like it still has a ways to come out so you can get further away from the camper. It doesn't sit under the awning though, so it kind of is off to the side of the awning. Ladder to get up onto the roof. You have 200 watts of solar up on the roof and your 2 air conditioners. Prep to add the backup camera. Keep in mind, on the top of your roof on any RV, new or used, or whatever it may be, you should be inspecting and checking the seals up on your roof as often as you can, because that is how you prevent roof leaks from occurring. I am fully convinced that every RV out there is fully capable of never having a roof leak, but it does take a responsible RV owner to get up there and check the roof regularly, make sure that the seams and seals on the roof are not getting any holes or cracks or bubbles in them that are problematic, and then fixing those when those do occur. So that's something that you should really be diligent about owning any kind of RV. Down underneath here, you got your towing hitch off the back. So this is rated for 3,000 pounds here to tow if you would like. You have a spray port along the back. There's multiple spray ports on this fifth wheel RV that have hot and cold water adjustment, so that's really nice as well. Gray tank dump valve area here for your kitchen sink. Got your spot there to store your sewer hose. Fully enclosed underbelly with all the water tanks and water lines sitting above the insulation, and you have the 12-volt heat pads like we talked about. See through frame rack and pinion style slide mechanism. Even through here, you can see like in this part of the steel frame, they put the expandable foam in that area, just kind of block that off from critters. So anywhere that they find areas that critters could possibly get up into, they fill all of that, which is pretty dang nice. I'm also seeing right here, it looks like this gray tank dump valve is up underneath the underbelly. So that is going to add to the 4 seasons capability of this fifth wheel RV, since that valve is in a protected area, meaning none of the water is going to get into this exposed part that could freeze until you open the valve. So that is really nice. A lot of 4 seasons capable travel trailers and fifth wheel RVs don't always have all of your valves up underneath the underbelly. Looks like that is the same thing here too. So don't see any exposed gray tank or black tank valves. Let me open this door. Yeah, here we go. Your gray tank and black tank valves are in here, so they are protected from the elements. Nautilus water management system, slide out switch right here so you can control your slide. While you're standing here looking at it from right here, just always make sure that the inside is clear of any obstacles or things like that. Let's get this light strip up where it needs to be. That's just something you're inevitably going to experience as an RV owner, is especially adhesive stuff like that at times may just come undone and you're just gonna have to stick it back up there. That is just part of what owning an RV is. Got your access to water lines and heat ducting all underneath this space there. And then that is pretty much it. Outlet in this area, slam latch doors, so really like that. They just slam shut like so. 2 30-pound propane bottles, auto leveling controls, and then finally last thing, docking light switch right here, and your battery area with your battery disconnect switches. And then your 15 amp solar charge controller. And it has a Kurt Rotaflex pin box with a rubber bushing here to absorb shock as you hit bumps and brake and accelerate and things like that. So this is the 2026 Alliance Avenue 23 ML. Curious your thoughts. Let me find a price for you real quick before we, wow, my goodness. Before we get going and get onto another RV out here. MSRP on this is right around $75,000, so it should sell somewhere around like that $60,000 to $70,000 range, I would think, for a brand new 2026. Keep in mind there are 2025 models that are still available. A lot of similarities between the two, so you can definitely get a better deal right now on a 2025 that is still sitting around, because these are the exact same floor plans here, just one's a 2026, one's a 2025, so you can definitely get a little bit better deal on a 2025 right now, or you can get one that is fresh off the assembly line that hasn't been sitting on a lot very long if you want something brand new and are willing to pay a little bit more for it at the time being. So those are what we're looking at on the price. Oh, another thing I wanted to point out too, this is oh, they are still using silicone. Okay, I wasn't sure if they were still using silicone on these seams here, but it just looked really clean, so I wanted to check that too. But they are still using silicone on that. And that's pretty much everything, y'all. So I appreciate you watching, and I guess, yeah, that's all I got for y'all. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. And until next time, live firmly unbound.